Hello and welcome to Carver in Focus. On today's show, we will be meeting with local cranberry grower Dick Ward, Superintendent of the Carver Public School System's Liz Sorrell, and Linda Crawford, owner of Dimensions Design and Wellness Studio. All this on the third edition of Carver in Focus. So join us, won't you? Welcome. I'm here today with Linda Crawford of Dimensions Design and Wellness Studio. How are you today, Linda?
Great, Gina.
Well, first I'd like to thank you for a fantastic haircut. I feel glamorous now.
Great.
So what are some of the fashion trends that are going to be occurring for the fall 2012 season?
I am loving it. It is all about retro now, big, beautiful, curly hair, more of a romantic feel.
Women are going to feel more glamorous?
Absolutely.
Excellent. What is Dimensions? How are you surviving through these tough economic times?
Well, as you know, I'm sure you've heard of the Groupons and Living Social. I think those companies have really taken advantage of businesses that are having it difficult. Dimensions is all about a loyalty to our customers, and we want our guests to come back over and over again. It's not like a one-hit wonder where the Groupon and the Living Social craze has really perpetuated.
Okay. What are Dimensions' point of difference?
It actually is all about our world-class customer service. I think in businesses now, we're all getting back to that one-on-one contact and taking care of our guests from the second they come in to the moment they leave.
Excellent. I do have a quick question. I notice you have Salon Today 200 on your lapel, and I see all these wall plaques.
Actually, that is a representation of the top 200 fastest growing salons in North America, and we've been in amongst those honorees 7 times.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so
That's
much.
Wonderful. And I see this lovely paper dress back here. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This past April, Aveda had their first green carpet event, and that dress, along with our salon, came in first place for fashion.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And where is Dimensions located? If you could tell our viewers perhaps your hours. And
right on Main Street in Carver Center, next to Mamma Mia's. We're open 6 days a week. That's Tuesday through Sunday, and it's been a great ride.
Excellent, excellent. And what are the next steps for you, for Dimensions, for the studio?
As always, we continue to give our guests the utmost customer service, the highest quality of service, and best product. Along with that, my expectation, my plan for 2012 and going forward would be really to get out and be more with our community and do as much as I possibly can for the community. It's been a wonderful experience to be a business in Carver, and I would recommend it to any other business owner.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Gina.
Welcome back. I'm here with Liz Sorrell, the Superintendent of the Carver Public School Systems. How are you today, Liz?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How has your summer been?
It's been busy.
It's been busy. Tell me, what's new and exciting at the Carver schools this summer?
Well, we have about 9 summer programs for children in both regular education and special education, and they are housed both here at the middle high school and at the elementary school, so they're keeping us all busy. Unfortunately, we had a lightning strike on June 22nd that has disabled our phone system severely. We can get incoming calls, but there are still no voicemail messages available, and some incoming lines are not working, and the PA system is down. So it's kept all of us busy getting some quotes and trying to see how quickly we can get the system back up operational for the school year. And then we got the results back from the community survey about the elementary building.
Yes, now that was a lengthy process. Can you tell me what were the results of the survey?
Sure. I'd first like to tell you a little bit about the process. Is that okay?
Sure, that'd be great.
We started with working with K-12, which is an independent research company that does surveys specifically for communities and schools, but it's not just an individual survey. When you contract with them, they construct whatever survey or surveys you want, and then they do an analysis of the data, and then they do multiple follow-ups. So our representative, Todd Carver, has met with the school committee live once and twice remotely, and we'll be coming back on August 29th. We're going to have 2 focus groups, one at 3 and one at 7 at the Carver Elementary School cafeteria to ask citizens more questions about exactly what they expect from their schools, and to gather some more information that we did not get from the survey. And then he will be following up with that data, and we'll see where that leads us. So it's a year-long process. And this is no extra cost. This is part of the whole.
And it includes more than one survey if you choose.
Yes.
And they're coming back to hear from the residents.
And all this data will be compiled to give us a picture of what the community really expects regarding the renovation or new construction of the elementary school, and how that process would more fit what the community really wants to happen. So we're hoping that a very big, broad base of people will come to the focus groups. We will have babysitting, of course. It's it's a couple days after school starts, so we feel people will be back in the groove of coming to the schools, and will be facilitated by a trained facilitator from K-12.
Excellent.
And the school committee has taken on the job of inviting people from a really broad constituency, from the Cranberry Village to the Cranberry Growers to the Board of Selectmen to the DPW. We're going to have representatives there, but we want the public to feel free that they are also welcome, other than the people that will be specially invited.
Well, I think that's excellent. I know a few months back, people had a lot of questions and concerns about where could they become involved and were there other options. So I think this is an excellent way to bring it to the residents. Fantastic.
We'll have copies there of, we did 17 final drafts of different plans for the community. So we will have those there for people to see that there is more than one option. We picked, the building committee picked the most economical at the time.
Correct.
Because all of our numbers now are 2009 numbers, and they would not be accurate today, but probably comparable.
Excellent.
So we'll have all that information available for people to view as well.
So you've gone over the process. Can you go over some of the highlights of the results for us?
Yes. In general, it was about 952 people who responded to the survey, and in the press release that will go out tomorrow, sort of the tagline was, most respondents say that renovations must be addressed. There were 614 parents that responded, 194 district employees, some of whom, about a third of whom, are also Carver residents, and 324 community members. Some employees are also parts of parent groups, of course. So it was offered online through a link on the district website from March 29th to April 27th. And it's just part of a larger plan to get input from the community, not the sole way that we're getting information. I think the most surprising to me was that where 78 to 79% of the people thought it had to be addressed immediately. Those are the people of the 900 people who took the survey. 36% of the people who took the survey did not vote in the last election that involved a school question.
Okay.
So I was surprised at that number.
I agree. I do have one last question for you. What are the next steps?
Well, the first step is the focus group on August 29th. In tandem with releasing the full survey, which will be available on the school website. We'll also make it available to cable TV.
Great.
I'm pretty sure the newspaper will put a link in.
Excellent.
And then also this press release that gives an overview. That's immediately. Then the next steps after the focus group will be determined by what information we get there. What else do we need to know? Do we need to know another survey of a specific group of people who did not attend, say, the focus group, so that we can figure out, we can hear from everyone. That's the whole purpose, is not to hear from a select group of people, but to hear from the Carver community.
And this is no additional charge. You can run 2, 3, 4, 5 surveys, different populations, for the same original cost that was paid.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Todd Keffer, who's our representative from K-12 Insight, said you can think of it as a buffet with as many trips as you need to fill up your plate of information.
Well, that's excellent. Hopefully we'll get great information and proceed forward.
I hope so.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Gina.
I'm here today at the Ward Bog with Dick Ward. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Gina.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Good. We have some questions for you. I was hoping you could enlighten me on some of the Cranberry Bog stuff that goes on here. You ready?
Do my best.
Okay. What is Chapter 61A and how does it affect cranberry bogs and the cranberry industry?
It's a tax measure here in Massachusetts to provide relief to farmers and farmland. Because if you evaluate farmland at the same rate that you evaluate lots, there wouldn't be any farmland because it would be way too expensive.
Okay. I hear a lot of helicopters in the morning and sometimes in mid-afternoon. What's going on with the helicopters over the cranberry bogs? And
Well, this is the time of the year when we're growing cranberries. At other times of the year, we're propagating the plant, the root system, uprights, things like that. But starting around the 1st of June, we're converting little blossoms into little berries.
okay.
So we're protecting the blossoms as they go into berries. We're protecting our bees who are pollinating the blossoms. And we're watching for insect pressure, meaning like fruitworm,
Okay.
which will lay eggs in the berries and destroy the fruit, and we wouldn't be able to make a profit to pay our taxes.
Okay, well, you're protecting the berries, you're protecting the bees, but what's going on with the water supply? Are you contaminating the water supply at all?
Well, did I say anything about the helicopters? The helicopters are providing, is that one of the things we're concerned with?
Yes.
Helicopters are doing primarily fertilizing at a certain time and then fertilizing again to carry the berries through the whole growing season. So we call some of that fertilizer slow release fertilizer to keep providing nutrients so that the berries will mature. So the helicopters are primarily for that. Most of the things that we use to kill any insects or to prevent fruit rot, we do right through the sprinkler system, which keeps the material right on the target.
Ooh, very good.
So what was the next question?
Well, I do have another question. I've noticed, and I don't see it happening here at your bog, but other bogs in the area, I've noticed they're being bulldozed. What purpose is that for?
Well, our old varieties, standby varieties, are early blacks and hows here in Massachusetts. They've been here for 100 or more years. Early blacks are a beautiful color berry and they make good color for juice. And the companies that use it for juice don't need to add any color or preservative. Hows are a better fresh fruit variety. They have good keeping qualities. They have this hard pectin, waxy material on the outside surface, so they last If you keep them in a cool place, they'll last until May. So if we harvest them in October, we still have fresh fruit in the boxes around till we get to May.
Wow.
Now there is a little rot here and there shows up, so the percentage becomes less, but it's still berries will keep. So, but the problem is they're not a high production berry, and most of the berries now go to processed fruit. Okay. It's for juices and craisins and some of the byproducts they have. It's almost like Hunt's Tomato Company. You don't buy tomatoes from Hunt's, you buy ketchup and sauce and all of that. Well, Ocean Spray and other handlers, that's where they've gone over the past few years. So very small percentage are in fresh fruit. So what happens is Howes and Blacks, which have been here all along, those are the berries that do maybe 100 barrels, 120 barrels to the acre. Now a barrel is 100 pounds. And you go along to the new varieties, which are hybrids. And remember, a hybrid is like you splice another variety. It's not DNA altered.
Okay.
It's.
Did you know I was going to ask you that question?
No, I didn't. But I know that's a concern of
Yes,
people.
absolutely.
And it's a hybrid. It's a mix of the two, and they've got them so that they can produce 3 times the volume. So that bog right there is a Howe bog, and it'll produce 120, 150 barrels to the acre, water picked. And if I converted that to Stevens or Crimson Queen, some of the new varieties, I'd be somewhere between 2 and 3 times that. So it would be 200 to 300 barrels to the acre. And now with the expense of everything going up, you got to produce more because we get paid by weight, okay? And so that we need that additional funds to pay all our bills. I mean, I'm a small grower, 14 acres. My house, barns, buildings, my tax bill is $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. Now, I'm not full-time cranberries, so it's not an easy proposition to pay all the taxes. And I'm not crying. I want to pay my taxes because I think it's good for my community and I want to maintain rural character. But it's the newer growers, to convert that 2-acre bog right there in front of us, it's for me to have somebody come in, it's roughly $50,000 an acre.
To bulldoze it and replant?
Bulldozing, putting a new sprinkler system in, buying the hybrid plants at 25 cents a little pot.
Yep.
You got to have 40,000 of them per acre because they go in a square. So if you got a foot square, they go 1 in this corner, 1 in this corner, 1 in this corner, 1 in this corner. And we fertilize them hard. They got a good little root system because they're in a little peat pot.
Well, how long would it take something like that to mature and produce a berry?
It'll produce after on the second year, a little. The third year, it's coming up to production. In the 4th year, it's at full production.
So it can be expensive to bulldoze and replant.
Very expensive.
Okay.
The payback time on me doing that is between 10 and 15 years.
Wow.
And I'm already 72.
Oh,
so
you don't look 72.
That's why I'm not changing the variety. I'm sticking with the old house, and I'm hoping that someday somebody realizes the nutritional value of the good old House and Early Blacks.
I have one last question for you today. Why are cranberry growers so interested in solar?
Because me sitting right here, I got all the varieties. My production is lower than my fellow grower down the street who's younger. And so what happens if the price drops again? What do I use for some alternative income? Why can't I put in a little solar complex of 3 or 4 acres up on the hill over there? I don't want to put them on my bog because then I take away my income from the bog. I need something to supplement it a little up on the hill. And I'm thinking about my community. When do we start thinking of alternative sources of energy?
So the solar panels wouldn't be on top of your bog, it's on the property you have
No,
within
no.
the bogs.
I think there's one bog that it's going to be on the bog, and he's experimenting. But growers aren't going to want to take the bogs out of production to do that. So they're going to put it, I mean, we have 14 acres of bog and 50 acres of land. There's 4 or 5 acres up on the hill there where none of my neighbors would even know it was there, let alone see it. There's no noise. Put 4 acres up there and plug it into the N-Stars grid and pay me a little money to help me out. To help me pay that $1,000 a month that I pay to the town, but in general, keep me sustainable.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, that's all the questions I have for you.
really, you guys were short and sweet today, huh?
Well, thank you, Dick, for having us here today. It was great to learn about the cranberries, and I hope we can come back and watch you harvest them. I hope you have a healthy, prosperous cranberry season.
You're welcome, and I've enjoyed our little conversation, and I hope you are able to come back.
Great, thanks. Thanks for joining us. If you have any ideas or comments, please email them to info@ccat.cc and in the subject line, Carver in Focus. I'd like to thank the crew and our guests. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Setting the Space and Dimensions Design and Wellness Studio. Till next time, I am Gina Hanlon-Cavicchi. Thanks for joining us.